We all make mistakes sometimes, and sometimes we need to apologize for them. But how can we do that in a way that's both sincere and productive, and that protects ourselves as well, even as we are apologizing? We're going to look at a 3-step process today for providing an apology that's both sincere and productive. Let's get to work. Okay, so for a sincere and productive apology, all we need are 3 steps. We want to provide context about what's going on, make sure we're on the same page with our reader. We then want to talk about the action that occurred and any emotion that gave us as a result, how we're feeling about it. And then we want to look to a successful future and talk about any next steps. So a few more details on each of those, and they don't all need to be the same length. You'll make those decisions as you go through, which are needed to be longer than others. But we'll talk about the context. What's the situation? You may need to express who was involved, what happened, when or where it happened, and why it mattered as relevant. Then you'll want to allude to the action. What did you do? What's the verb of what occurred? And what are your emotions surrounding that? Something apologetic, as we'll see in the examples. But then even more importantly, I think, what about in the future? What are some next steps we can do to make this mistake productive and make sure that we find new ways to do things in the future? All right, so let's look at 2 examples from professional life and 2 examples from personal life about how we can provide a sincere and productive apology in just a couple of sentences, right? We don't want to go overboard, but we want to respect both them and ourselves. Okay, so setting the context. In last week's meeting, I responded to your comment before really thinking through my words. My response sounded a little cold, which I regret. I'll keep tone in mind next time around. I was able to say, where were we? What happened? What did I kind of do? And how did I feel about it? And how will that be fixed in the future? Similarly, when the vendor contacted us, I completely forgot to share the new timeline. I emailed it to them yesterday and added it to the onboarding system checklist so that we will avoid this issue in the future. Again, we've been able to say, yeah, I messed up, but I've also fixed it, and the reader knows exactly the situation we're talking about. Let's talk about some personal examples, maybe things we need to do in our personal lives with our friends, families, hobbies, and interests. Maybe a family example. Last night when we were working on your college applications, I was really excited about schools in California. Looking back, I feel like maybe I was pressuring you. I support your decision wherever you decide to go. Or when I showed up late last night, I didn't mean to imply I didn't care about your work function. I just got buried in my own work and I'm so sorry I didn't notice the time. I'll make sure it's on my calendar next time. We're providing a solution, we're providing that reassurance, and therefore we're respecting our reader, but we're also respecting ourselves by not going overboard with the apology. So let's talk about that with a couple quick reminders as you use this 3-step process. Number 1, make sure you don't accidentally accuse your reader. And often that happens when we use a word like you or your. And you may want to check out the video on using you carefully to manage conflict. But I might not want to say, sorry, I misunderstood your post was so vague that I wasn't sure what to do. I might want to say, sorry, I misunderstood. I didn't know what was meant by the post. There's no reason to sort of say, I'm sorry, but I'm going to kind of blame you at the same time. That will make the apology sound insincere. On the other hand, though, we don't want to over-apologize to the point that we are sort of punishing ourselves. And so instead of, I'm so sorry for my oversight, I promise it'll never happen again, we could simply say, my apologies for missing that step. I've since added it to our procedures manual. What we're doing there is showing I'm aware that this happened and it's being fixed, but I don't need to self-punish in this conversation. Speaking of which, just remember, 3rd tip, consider cultural norms about apologizing. Apologies don't look the same everywhere. Consider stereotypes, hierarchies, different genders, some of the norms that we're taught. Women have been taught to apologize quite a bit. So some women, including me, try to kind of make sure we're not going overboard when we write. So consider all the conditioning that you may have received when you write your apology as well. All right, so you can be sincere and productive by letting people know what was the situation, what happened, and what will happen in the future. Please like and subscribe if you like what you're learning, and I'll see you in a few days.